If I were moving today, these are the walkable neighborhoods I would actually live in. Hey everybody, it is Alyson Wall, your real estate strategist and realtor for the South Denver area. When I think walkable neighborhood, my checklist looks like this. I want tree-lined streets. I definitely prefer sidewalks. I want to have access to a coffee shop, some sort of third place to go to. I really would like a grocery store that is walkable from where I am, though I will tell you, I think it is much more dreamy and hopeful to think I'm going to walk to the grocery store because I don't want to walk home with the groceries. But I do still want something really close by like that. And yes, I do want a few good restaurants nearby too. I don't want to have to pay for DoorDash, get in the car. I really am looking for a way to take a stroll to dinner and then walk that dinner off on the way home. So here's my personal list of the best walkable neighborhoods in Denver right now. These are in no particular order. You just get to be in the mind's eye of this realtor as I give you my favorites in Denver right now. First up is Platt Park. This is one of Denver's true hidden gems. A lot of folks outside the city, even a lot of folks in the city, do not know this area by name. It is really flying under the radar. But if you love walkability and a strong community feel, this area, Platt Park, is really hard to beat. Old South Pearl Street is the centerpiece of the neighborhood. For much of the year, that is the home to a fantastic farmers market. It runs from spring, usually May, around Mother's Day, into October, and they have live music, food vendors everywhere. There is just so much tasty food. Fresh flowers, the produce. Oh my goodness, when the Palisade peaches comes in, I love it. And there is this one farmer, they do it all themselves, a small farm, local farm. The peaches are delicious. It's just so much to take in. It's a good morning date. The coffees, the breads, the donuts, the sweets, the savories, the breakfast nachos, the breakfast tacos, the lunch, you name it. There are food trucks in the shade down by some music and popsicles, and the kids are eating with messy stuff dripping down their face and dancing. And it's just a space filled with life and joy. It's wonderful. After the farmers market is gone, that street is filled with fantastic boutiques, restaurants, coffee shops. It's a great, vibrant part of Platt Park. One of the very best sushi restaurants in all of Denver is right there. You cannot really find better sushi anywhere. It rivals what you'll find on the coasts. First Friday Art Walks do a great job at pulling the locals out of their house when they might hunker down on Sundays to avoid the crowds. It's a very connected community. There is a park that is Platt Park, so there is space to get out, walk the dogs, let the kids play, because these are older homes, older streets. My goodness, when you're walking down the sidewalk, if you aren't looking down, it's entirely probable you're going to trip because the massive trees and their big root systems have pushed parts of the sidewalk up. But the character of the homes is utterly fantastic. And people are out tending their flowers, pruning gardens, putting out fresh honey because they have a small bee hive that they're tending to in the back, and they're just giving away what the bees are making. A lot of really great character both in the people and the homes over here. Why does Platt Park work? Why is it on my list? Because it doesn't feel like a neighborhood built around a street, shops, and a farmer's market. It feels like a neighborhood. It feels like a place people love to live. You see them working on their houses. You see them out in the front. You see them connecting with people. And you have the addition of a lively street, boutiques, shops, local business owners to connect with. The kids' bookstore on the street, fantastic. It's really a great neighborhood and community feel. Now, what is there to know that you might not like? Well, it's probably tied to the farmers market. Those weekends, those Sundays, the streets are packed with other people coming in and parking all along the street, walking up, down, figuring out how to park. If you park on the street, you don't want them hitting your car. It is buzzing with activity. So it's certainly not quiet On Sundays, for much of the year, you have to kind of share your neighborhood. If you like to kind of put a bubble around yourself, this may not be the space for you. Now, homes over here in Platt Park are going to be on the smaller side for all the neighborhoods we're going to talk about. But it's not like I grew up in much smaller. I grew up in a house under 1,000 square feet. So these are still good. We're talking about 1,600 square feet on average, some smaller, some bigger. Average price over the last year, $1.1 million. So you're certainly paying a pretty penny to be in this prime location. But we're just going to take our prices up from there as I dream about where I want to live in Denver. Next up is Wash Park, a very short bike ride north of Platt Park. Wash Park is iconic. It's 161 acres of outdoor playground in this city suburb. It is the heartbeat of the neighborhood with 2 parks, tennis courts, miles of trails, lush gardens, courts, tennis courts, basketball courts, open fields, tall trees, the historic boathouse. You will find people out all times of the day, sun, morning, evening, drizzle, doesn't really matter. People want to be here. They're bringing their kids to the playground. People are doing yoga in the park. You have got rollerbladers, roller skaters, strolling moms, runners, marathoners, bikers, you name it, people are out here. The neighborhood has a blend of preserved Victorians, craftsman bungalows, scraped lots with massive modern homes, but it blends that energy of updated and historic. It really has a wonderful vibe. Of course, the homes right on the park, even though they're on somewhat busier roads, are more expensive because you're looking at Wash Park. Each street you get away, you're getting a little bit less expensive, but the closer you are to the park, the more your life is defined by the walkability of Wash Park. Everything revolves around the park. That is the lifestyle. It's not a highly walkable area for other things like I described for Platt Park. Over a few blocks to the east is Gaylord Street, and they do have a few shops, they do have a few restaurants, so there is something around that gives you a hint of what we talked about in Platt Park, but it's not the same. Gaylord Street's not in the middle, right? Wash Park is central. You have your more popular coffee shop, Wash Park, that's over to the west a few blocks the other side. And so everything just really focuses on being out, being active, meeting up with other people in the park. That is the hub, and it's fantastic. Why living on Wash Park works? Wash Park, that's it. It's all about that life. What you might not like about it is, again, the same thing about Platt Park. People are coming from outside to get there to hang out with friends, do meetups, activities, weekend things, homecoming pictures for kids all over the city in the fall, prom pictures in the spring. There's always something going on that's bringing people from the outside, and they're parking all along the streets. So again, if you're hoping for a little bit of privacy, a little quiet on your street, the closer you are to the park, the less likely that's going to happen. Homes here average about 2,000 square feet, at least over the last year of sales, and are pricing in at around $1.5 million. So as I said, we're keeping up the price trajectory as we talk through these homes. It is easy to hit the $3 million plus mark in Wash Park. It's all about the type, the size, and location. The farther you are off the park, of course, the cheaper the property is. But what kind of garage do you have? How big? Do you actually have bedroom doors you can open and close the door while you have a bed and dresser in that room? Are you on Downing? Are you on the west side? Are you on the east side? Do you have a luxury home, a smaller home? There's just a lot of nuances to capture to understand what your price point's going to be in the Wash Park area. There's a lot of similarity between Wash Park and Platt Park. So if you're like me and you feel even now a little bit of tension, how would I choose? Well, first of all, you have to come see it. But Platt Park I feel like has a lot of young families. It has retirees. I see a lot of community. I see a lot of activity. It can lean younger. It has a lot of renters too because it's very close to DU. So an interesting mix of folks over there for sure. When we move to Wash Park, we see people with more money. We see professionals, we see folks that are pushing more toward 30 and up. There are certainly renters in there. And we see retirees, folks who want to get toward the city, want something nice, want a reason to be outdoors, but maybe don't want to be on city streets where you're going to hear the echo of cars going by in taller buildings. So we see a little bit of a shift in age group and in who's there. Both speak to families. Wash Park, we're going to see those who are a little bit more financially established just because of price point. And for me, if I had to pick, I am picking Wash Park. If no budget constraints are involved, if I'm thinking about lifestyle, for me, it's life on the park because that is daily. It's daily opportunity to get out, walk, be active, be in the park in the peak of sun in the winter, to be in the early morning or evening when it's hotter in the summer. And once a week, I can take my 8-minute bike ride, or probably 4 minutes on an e-bike if I want to be particularly lazy, and head over to Platt Park and go to the farmer's market. Where conversely, if I'm at Platt Park, living there, and that's my stomping ground, I have the best access to all the produce, all that life, this amazing street and restaurants. But to have all of that amazing outdoor lifestyle, I have to travel farther every day. I have a lot more excuses not to be outdoors. All right, the next spot that I really enjoy is Cherry Creek North. Officially, to the rest of the world, it is 16 shady, beautiful blocks with 600 plus businesses, luxury boutiques, Hermes, Louis Vuitton, art galleries, beautiful luxury home boutiques that smell magnificent when you go in and have the softest sheets you have touched. Locally, it's where Walkable meets luxury. It is tree-lined streets, blooming lawns, and these beautiful homes that are steps away from fantastic dining, vibrant coffee shops that serve amazing croissants. I mean, they are not as good as in Paris, but they rival it for being on the state side of things. Fantastic gift shops so that you're pulling out something unique for the people you love, and amazing alfresco dining. My husband and I pop up here roughly once a week, grab coffee, take a date, walk around, and what we see, what we like is the coffee shop atmosphere. So many different people, all the dogs. People have dogs, they bring them in the coffee shop. People are very social. It's a very friendly atmosphere, very diverse. There is young, there is old, there are families with kids, there are people trailing their kids on bikes, there are people who have their 11-year-old out with them training to do these 100-mile bike rides. There are folks who love their 50-year-old Ferrari. I mean, you just see all sorts and interests, and people chat. They just sit on the patio, meet new people, other than when the dogs decide to go at each other on occasion. But it's a really fun, lively atmosphere. Everything is walkable. You've got blooms everywhere, massive planters in the city so that you're seeing flowers on the concrete, but you literally go back a street or two and you're in deeply tree-lined, beautiful homes with manicured lawns. These are small lots, which means low maintenance, but it doesn't mean low privacy. Whether it's a hidden patio from a line of shrubs, a walled-off garden, an elevated patio, a balcony, a rooftop terrace, there are all sorts of private nooks and niches that let you kind of just embrace the space that you're in, enjoy all these tall trees that change colors, and appreciate all the custom homes that are in this area too. It is not cookie cutter. Because of that, because we even see some of these properties getting scraped and very modern properties being brought in, the downside to those is they tend to scrape the mature trees. I am not a fan, but the price point over here is very elevated. We're in a luxury community. Everything is convenient. It's quiet. These streets are narrow, low speed, not noisy. And so you're paying for all of the luxury that comes with this. The average home is 2,500 square feet, and we're looking at $2.2 million. There are attached homes, there are detached homes. It is easy to find something in the 5,000 to 7,000 square foot range, and you will be multiple millions above that. My photographer, who does luxury listings left and right, just created the video that has gone pretty wild on social media for the $20 million penthouse suite. that has been listed over here in Cherry Creek North. So that one is massive in its square footage as well, much larger than this, and it's not even a freestanding home. That one is way up top with beautiful views. So there is a wide variety of option here in Cherry Creek North and across all these neighborhoods that we have talked about, and the last one that I'm going to give you too. It's all about money and what kind of lifestyle you want. There's more opportunity coming. The interesting thing about Cherry Creek North is how simple they want living to be. There's so much in terms of attached living, low maintenance, no yard, low yard, someone else doing it for you. A Waldorf Astoria is coming, and these are going to be purchasable residences, and an uber luxury rental senior community is coming in, where we're talking $10,000 in rent, $25,000, $35,000 in rent. The plus is you aren't putting down $1 million to get in the door. So you can keep that invested, or you can travel with it. But this is the premier type of venue for people who have run corporations, have money to be with peers of similar lifestyle and background, and again, have everything easy. And one of those is going to be built up here very soon. Okay, I have a few honorable mentions I'm going to give you, but first, my very last spot. If I were going to put my home up for sale and move to something more walkable, the last one is right down the street from where I currently am. Many of you know, if you've watched a lot of my videos, I currently live in Parker, right on the Lone Tree border, and I would just move over into Lone Tree. I would move to Ridgegate, particularly the west side of Ridgegate, because Ridgegate, as part of Lone Tree, straddles I-25. So there's a west and an east side. I don't love the east side as much. I don't find it as walkable. I don't want to be that close to I-25. I don't want all that it has to offer for me. So I would move to the west side. It is built up. It is close to the Bluffs Trails system. I love that you can get up high from the bluffs. You can look out over all of Denver. You can see to the mountains. You are seeing lights at night. You're seeing trees as they change color in the fall. You get these beautiful views. You can watch sunset, sunrise. You get a good workout. To have all of that, and I don't have to get in the car, that is the crux of the draw to this area for me. On top of that, I can get to Target, the library, the Performing Arts Center, restaurants, Sprouts, coffee shops, all within walking distance from being anywhere over in that west side Ridgegate spot too. There's a rec center over there if I want to be indoors for a workout, weather is bad. Everything is so convenient, and to hop on I-25 or to get on light rail are incredibly short drives. We're talking 3 minutes. So this space over here keeps me in South Denver, keeps me around all the people I've known for decades, and gives me the ability to stroll to get my coffee, walk home after having a meal. If I'm going to bake cookies, brownies, all sorts of treats, and I need to work a little of that off, I can walk home with that bag of sugar and butter. And I have got all of that Bluffs open trail system out my door without having to get in my car, because I love to just open the door and go. I don't want to have to drive for my exercise, and everything is so beautiful. So that is my last one. What would you like to about the Ridgegate area? I think it's the same things. The other thing you'll like that you may not know if you've never been here is that all the homes down in the Ridgegate area are newer than anything you'll find in Platt Park, Wash Park, Cherry Creek North. There is so much new and newer construction in that area, with a newer development on the docket planned, possibly coming soon even. And so you've got clean, you have fresh, you have space, you've got modern style and aesthetic. And that is not that common in a highly walkable neighborhood. What you may not like about it, it's not as charming, right? The trees aren't as tall yet. It takes a long time for trees to get really big out here with our drier climate. And you're not going to see as much brick. You're not going to see as much design element in the home. You're not going to see as many unique windows, unique roof lines. So all the things that you may be loving about historic neighborhoods is not translating down here. The home size, biggest. Price, not so bad. 2,600 square feet on average, with an average price of $1.1 million. like Cherry Creek North, actually have a lot of attached options here in Ridgegate. If I were to compare the two areas, Cherry Creek North tends to lean a little bit older money, even though we do see a lot of diversity in who is showing up in the coffee shops, who do we see when we're walking around. On the whole, it probably leans the oldest of all of the neighborhoods and areas. When you come down to Ridgegate, it probably leans older than Platt Park and Wash Park on the whole. We have mature families, families with teens, retirees. There are some younger folks that are in this area because of the walkable proximity to Schwab, good access to light rail. It's just a nice area to settle into your early professional career if you have anything related to the hospital that is nearby. Again, the financial district. But because it's so far from Denver, it usually is not someplace where you're going to see a bunch of 20-somethings who have not settled down making their home in this spot. All right, you now know my favorite spots if I were gonna actually consider moving into a walkable area. I wanna share a couple honorable mentions that are worth exploring for walkable lifestyle if you are thinking of the same thing, because I don't wanna leave anything off with my personal bias. So I'm gonna share these with you, and if you wanna explore more about walkable living in Denver, please reach out, because I would love to connect and talk about all the different styles of walkability and what's gonna fit you best. So the first one up on my list is Arvada, the Arvada Old Town area. That Old Town has really just come to life. There is some new construction for attached product down there, a lot of older homes around that are purchasable for a pretty decent price. If you can get one that I call a grandma house, hasn't been touched, needs updating, but you can do everything and you aren't undoing someone else's bad work, that is the way to go. But there are great shops, breweries, there's good light rail access from there into Denver. I think it's a great option. And it also puts you on the west side of town, close to foothills, close to hiking. Downtown Littleton is an option. There is a nice street in Old Littleton where you have some boutiques, some shops. There's been an old candy store, there's jewelry stores, there's restaurants, breweries, a little rooftop deck. You've got the old fondue restaurant, the Melting Pot there. So lots of options. Businesses tend to come and go. There are some that are very stable, but we do at times see some empty storefronts. That for me is part of why it's not on my list. I want something a little more vibrant and consistent, and I am leaning more toward a single family home than a small townhouse. It's easy to find something smaller close to Littleton and the old downtown district. But if you want single family, I find it's just a little bit farther away and not really in what I consider highly walkable. There is a lot in that old downtown area, lakes, museums, green space, and parks, that the whole area is really desirable. So I wouldn't rule it out, but if you're wanting to be close to something like that, maybe not your best and favorite. We'll see. Last, Fort Collins. I went to grad school there. The Fort Collins downtown area is vibrant, it's fun. They really love to keep activities, bands, music, farmers markets, just all sorts of things going on in that area. Walt Disney modeled his entrance into Disneyland off of Fort Collins Old Town. So it really is a beautiful, beautiful place. And there are a lot of neighborhoods that are in a half-mile radius. So it is totally walkable, totally doable, and it's not outrageously priced. Now, if you want modern and you want to be right on it, you can actually do $1 million plus in Fort Collins, but you can do it for a lot less too. And you're in a college town, they have their own industries, there are companies there, there's brewing companies, a lot more than just the university, and it's a really fun place to live. All right, you have my picks, some bonus picks. I would love to connect. Please reach out. Let's talk about what Denver could look like for you in all of its walkable greatness. And I will see y'all next week.